All right. Good morning, everybody. We are here today for an announcement about the restart of recycling collection, curbside recycling collection here in Baltimore City. I am joined today for the first time by our City Administrator, Chris Shorter. We're also joined by our Deputy City Administrator, Daniel Ramos, Acting DPW Director, Matt Garbach, John Chalmers, who's the head of Solid Waste Division, and Dan Heinowitz, the Director of Office of Performance and Innovation for us. Thank you all for joining us today here at Sisson Street. I am announcing that Baltimore City is ready to start recycling again. Residential recycling has been suspended since August 31st, and starting next Tuesday, January 19th, curbside recycling collections will resume on a weekly basis. I've been clear that restoring recycling services, a basic core function of city government, is a top priority. My team came into office and hit the ground running to ensure that we could sustainably and safely get this service back up and running. What I do want to remind everyone that this is a pandemic. Again, that we have to do this. We cannot forget that these services were suspended because of this pandemic. We cannot forget the tough work, the hard work of our workers in DPW who do this work amidst the pandemic, a job that most people wouldn't do when it isn't a pandemic. 6 months ago, when services were suspended, there was not enough staffing to support both trash and recycling collection. It's important to note that one employee who tests positive with COVID-19 means multiple employees must come off of the job and go quarantining at home until it's safe to get back on their route. As such, in restarting it, we have had to be extremely cautious and thoughtful to keep our employees and contractors safe while ensuring we can sustainably keep this service up and running once it is restarted. My team and I have been working over the past month to ensure the workforce has enough proper PPE, the right cleaning protocols are in place, training is in place, and adequate equipment to safely distance to keep our workforce healthy and safe. One of the ways that we're doing this is a weekly Recycle Stat meeting where we convene key stakeholders with DPW and across city government so we can ensure the data is informing this rollout and we are prepared as a city government to provide high levels of service to our residents. These meetings will continue as we closely monitor the restart of recycling services and the ongoing trash collection process. I want to thank Director Heinowitz for the work that he and his team have led to develop RecycleStat and to keep us on track. I will be using this tool to ensure recycling operations are running seamlessly and to quickly identify and abate any unforeseen challenges. DPW has taken the operational and personnel steps needed to support the full-scale weekly resumption of citywide recycling services. To help fill the ranks of essential workers in the Department of Solid Waste workforce, DPW has partnered with small waste hauling companies and city-based organizations that operate job training programs to help connect hard to employ returning residents with opportunities. Good Companies and Spindler Refuse Service are currently servicing 1 to 2 mixed refuse routes per day. DPW has also partnered with Living Classrooms Foundation and ROCA. These organizations are providing laborers to work with our DPW crews on routes as well. Also, DPW is currently coordinating opportunities with additional organizations for staffing options. The city recognizes that it is essential to strengthen and support its existing solid workforce, who again are heroes each and every day. When someone comes to pick up your recycling or your trash, I just ask that the citizens of Baltimore just take a second to talk to them. Talk to them about their job, their life, what they have had to endure since this pandemic has come into play for all of us, so that you can get a sense into why we must appreciate them and why we must support them as we go back to restarting recycling. The Bureau of Solid Waste seasonal maintenance aides, temporary positions, have been converted to full-time city workers. These workers have received a pay increase as well as benefits for the essential job that they provide. Seasonal maintenance aides play a key role in the weekly trash and recycling collections, and ensuring this vital section of DPW has secure wages and needed benefits, much needed benefits, is critical to supporting the resumption of recycling and continuation of the trash collection services. In November 2020, the Board of Estimates approved DPW's request to better compensate laborers and CDL drivers. DPW has also, and this is a very important thing, also invested in technology. The Rubicon Smart City Routing software will finally, and I do mean finally digitize trash and recycling routes in Baltimore City, allowing collection crews to cover routes more effectively and efficiently. This system digitizes existing operations, including route sheets, pre- and post-trip inspections, scale tickets, and route details. My city administrator's office has been integral to this process. This is just one example of what residents can expect as we work towards building a more effective, efficient, and equitable city government that works better for all of Baltimore. I'd like to now introduce Baltimore's first city administrator, Christopher Shorter, to say a few words about the restart of recycling and the role he and his team will be playing in this process. Mr. Administrator.
All right, thank you, Mayor Scott. I'm really excited to be here with you today and honored to start my service here in the city of Baltimore. Trash and recycling services are a core function of our city. The city administrator's office has worked very closely with Mayor Scott and the Department of Public Works to ensure a safe and successful restart to recycling services here in Baltimore. Thanks to the mayor's leadership, we initiated, as he stated, a RecycleStat process, and we have taken a citywide approach to support the restart. And with that, convened leaders from Fleet, Safety, the Office of Labor, the Labor Commissioner, Law, Human Resources, and Finance. This cross-section of agencies will continue to meet weekly to assess data provided by our Office of Performance and Innovation and ensure that our Bureau of Solid Waste has the necessary equipment, human capital, and administrative support for this restart. We are also proud to incorporate equity and workforce development in this critical service. We are ensuring that the city government can provide the core service to our residents, works efficiently and effectively, and continues to support the safety of our workforce doing the most difficult job in our city. Yesterday, I learned from our interim director of DPW that well over 90% of the men and women who do this work are residents of Baltimore City. And so it means a lot to say that it is our neighbors that is picking up the trash, that's dealing with our recycling services, and we should be proud of that. So I'm excited again to get started today, truly looking forward to working with Mayor Scott and the city staff to continue improving the way we collaborate and serve our residents, visitors, and those doing business in Baltimore. Thank you again, Mayor Scott.
Thank you, Chris. We could not be more excited to have you here and on board of our part of our team as we work to build a better Baltimore. My number one concern, as I've said to the administrator and DPW, is getting this right so that we can keep our workers safe and avoid future disruptions. In addition to the weekly residential recycling restarting, DPW will continue to make community collection centers available for residents through the end of February on a more limited schedule. There is one in each of the 14 council districts. Starting January 20th, these collection centers will be open 2 days a week on Wednesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can find a full list of those locations at publicworks.baltimorecity.gov/recycling centers. They will officially discontinue at the end of February. We appreciate all of the residents who have made the trip to their drop-off site, continuing their recycling during this unprecedented time, and we encourage you to remember this option is still available to you in the coming weeks. As a city, we remain committed to improving our recycling services and encouraging more residents to recycle each week with the restart of this core service. Now we will hear from our acting DPW director, Matt Garbar.
Good morning. I'm Matt Garbark, Acting Director of the Department of Public Works. I want to thank Mayor Scott, Administrator Shorter for their support and leadership on this issue. I want to also thank the residents of Baltimore City for their patience over the last few months. As we restart curbside recycling collections, we want residents to know that collection routes for the first week may take longer to complete. This is due to the large volumes of material that may be collected as recycling services restart. We ask that, if possible, you take as much of your recycling to one of our community collection centers this week so as to help ease that burden. Please be patient if your recycling pickup is delayed. Residents are encouraged to call 311 for updates on delayed routes or neighborhoods. We will be providing updates on our progress each day. As the mayor already shared, we will begin to scale back the operations of the community collection centers beginning January 20th. On that day, the collection centers will begin to operate on a modified schedule, opening only 2 days a week, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesdays and Saturdays through February 27th. Community collection centers will officially be discontinued effective Monday, March 1st. Beginning on January 19th, the 5 permanent citizens convenience centers will close at 5 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. These locations are listed on the DPW website. The 5 locations are the Northwest Transfer Station at 5030 Reisterstown Road, the Quarantine Road Landfill, 6100 Quarantine Road, the Northwest Citizens Convenience Center, which we're at today, 2840 Sisson Street, the Southwestern Citizens Convenience Center at 701 Reedbird Avenue, and the Eastern Citizens Convenience Center at 6101 Bowleys Lane. As recycling collections restart, we want you to remember that your regular recycling collection days and locations have not changed. They will remain the same as they were before the pandemic and before collections were suspended. If you don't know your recycling day, you can always call 311 or go online to DPW's website to view the recycling day map, use the Recycling Right web tool, and view a wealth of other information. You may already know that Baltimore City does not accept plastic bags in our recycling. DPW will have reusable collection bags available at our community collection centers that you can pick up through the remainder of this week. I want to talk briefly about the new technology we will use to ensure routes are collected efficiently and effectively. As noted a few months ago, we procured a routing software under emergency authority. This software is called Rubicon Smart City. This software digitizes trash and recycling routes, allowing collection crews to cover routes more effectively. The Rubicon system digitizes our existing operations, including route sheets, pre- and post-trip inspections, scale tickets, and route data. This technology provides our drivers with turn-by-turn information. The new technology is especially beneficial to new drivers servicing unfamiliar neighborhoods and has already proven beneficial to drivers who have driven some of these unfamiliar routes. Lastly, I would like to add that Monday, January 18th is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It is a city holiday. DPW offices, yards, community collection centers will be closed that day. Mondays are also not a normally scheduled trash collection route. With all that, I'd like to say thank you for your patience and thank you as we roll this restart out.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you so much, Mr. Director. With services coming back online, this is also a great time for folks who are not recycling to start recycling. First off, it's easy. Second, you often hear me say about how only 15% before the pandemic of our population recycle, and we want to dramatically increase that. We have an opportunity here, not just to bring this service back, but begin diverting more of our waste from our landfills as the city moves towards thinking about zero waste in the future. We have to think about a Baltimore City not just for us, but for our children, our grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and recycling is a way that we can do that. And at this time, we'll take a few questions, and please use the microphone. And just say your name and where you're from when you're asking your question. Yeah, go ahead.
There you go.
Emily Opilo, Baltimore Sun. I heard you guys mention that it might take a little while for the first week to do the collections. Is there any kind of limitation on how much people can put on the street? Let's say they've been collecting recycling for the last 5 months.
And before Mr. Chalmers comes up, I just want to, Emily, just go back and say how important it is for folks to be patient. We have to understand that this has been suspended for quite some time. We're going to have folks out there. They're going to be working hard. Again, this is why I'm asking everyone to talk to other folks who are picking up their trash and recycling so you can hear about how hard their job has gotten during the pandemic. And we're going to have to be patient as we restart recycling.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I understood the question, again, good morning, everyone. My name is John Chalmers. I'm the Bureau Head for the Department of Public Works, Bureau of Solid Waste. Thank you all for coming this morning. The question posed was there a limit to the amount of recycling that could be placed curbside for pickup? Is that correct? There is no limit for recycling under normal conditions, so there's definitely no limit for recycling under these conditions. But as the mayor stated, please be patient with us. We are expecting an enormous amount of recycling curbside, but we are gearing up to manage the overflow.
Thank you, Jane.
Jane Miller, WBAL Television. What other services have not yet resumed that affect any of the agencies that are involved, DOT, DPW, et cetera?
Yeah, I will let Director Garbach come up, but we know that there are many services and things that have been suspended or discontinued. And what we'll do, the administrator, myself, my team, Jane, we're going to continue to assess how we can restart things and reshape things, understanding again, first and foremost, that we want to keep people safe. We're not going to put our workers in harm's way. We're not going to do that and wherever we can avoid it. But I'll let Director Garbach come up to talk about the other things in DPW.
The other services that we offer that will remain suspended have been the bulk trash pickup. That was suspended last summer. We need the crews and the vehicles in order to help with some of this volume, as well as mechanical street sweeping. We are doing street sweeping in some of the major corridors in the city, but within neighborhoods, because there is still the work from home order, having neighborhoods move their vehicles multiple times per week is just not something that is effective at this moment. What we learned last year is that we cannot pull from these other operations. We need to make sure that the other core operations, such as street and alley cleaning and other special services, remain operational, which is one of the reasons why we have looked to bulk up as much as we can for our routine services.
And just to follow up with that, but in terms of the public collection sites, public trash cans, et cetera, has that also been disrupted? I mean, it just seems that they're all overflowing.
No, that continues. We continue operations. We are, at most trash cans, we clean them, especially in some of the more heavily traveled areas, once or even twice a day. So this is just going to show that there is a tremendous amount of waste and refuse and recycling that needs to be collected.
Dave Detling from Channel 2.
Hey, Dave.
In regards to partnering with community organizations and those who may be tough to employ, can you talk about what aspect they'll be helping DPW? Will they be on the sanitation trucks? What aspect will they be playing in trash collection? And will they be part of the safety training that other sanitation workers are going through?
Yeah, and Dave, thank you for that question. I just want to do again, before the director comes up to talk about exactly what they'll be doing, and they'll be working with our crews, talk about how important this is. When you often hear folks talk about how it is, we need to provide opportunities for folks to reenter, provide opportunities for young folks who are involved in these programs. We're trying to get them back on track. This is an innovative way that DPW is stepping up to provide those kind of opportunities and allow someone to be a part of a service that's desperately needed in the city. Mr. Director?
So these temporary laborers are receiving the exact same training that our sanitation workers are receiving. We have also paired them with veteran crews who know their routes, and they are going to be working on those routes to ensure that they are not overstressed or over exposed to anything that might cause them to leave or not want to continue working anymore. They're also going to work a fixed number of hours So sometimes our workers are on a task schedule, which means they work till they complete their shift. We're not going to be doing that with these temporary workers. They're going to be working a fixed schedule where they start and they end at the same time each day.
And pay-wise, can you talk to what they'll be making an hour, or is it volunteer, or is that?
It's up to the contractors that we have hired are managing all of that stuff. So we're just contracting with the vendors themselves.
And lastly, can you just say where you stand in terms of employment numbers for sanitation?
Certainly. I can actually ask Bureau Head Chalmers to speak to that.
Both prior to the pandemic and currently as it stands, if possible.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can speak to where we are with routine services, curbside collection. As of today, we have a total of 272 employees. That includes the management staff, admin staff. And as it relates to the curbside collection crews, we have about 220 employees available for that operation.
How many do you need to successfully pull this off?
To successfully get routes up and running each day, we need 201 employees. 201. Okay.
Alexa?
Hi, Alexa Ashwell, WBFF. Mr. Mayor, I know you received some backlash with our Q&A yesterday when I asked about the aquarium photo and how the restrictions make sense during the unrelated press conference. Would you please respond to concerns about transparency, given you were not pleased that question was asked during that time?
Can you ask? I missed part of your question. Can you ask it again? Sorry.
With the
Alexa.
backlash you've received because of our Q&A when I asked about the aquarium photo and how those restrictions make sense, would you please respond to concerns about transparency, given you were not pleased? I asked that question during an unrelated press conference.
So I think I answered the question. There's nothing about not being transparent. Again, we have restrictions on things that require you to not wear a mask. And we will be announcing on Friday where we are based off the data, based off the science. No matter how many times we get asked this question, the answer is always going to be the same. And I want folks to understand that people are dying. Like, this is what we're talking about. People are dying from COVID-19, and we know anything that you do where you have to remove your mask, where you're going to be around people that close together is dangerous.
Any update on looking into that photo, what your team found?
We will update you as soon as we know if action is going to be taken, just like we do with everyone. Alexa, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Nice mask. Dan?
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Dan Lamparello with WBFF. I just have a quick question about pay. And I know you've mentioned, DPW workers are getting some raises as part of this, but there has been some complaints from firefighters, police officers about the new rollout of the HR services. I'm just wondering what's being done here.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it over to our Finance Director, Henry Raymond, in a second, who can discuss the steps that the city has taken to ensure that everyone gets paid. But let me first say this. Moving to Workday is a new system. This represents a major citywide change towards modernization for Baltimore City, going away from paper timesheets. We know how much trouble that has cost the city in the past, and moving us into a digitized fashion. I understand that there are going to be issues, understood that. But let me be clear. I have directed and talked to the finance director and all the agencies that people not getting paid for their work is not acceptable, that people have to be made whole. I just spoke to the FOP president before on my way up here, talking to him about his concerns as well. I will not allow our workers to come out, DPW, BPD, fire, whoever, to work every single day and not get paid. And that's why Director Raymond and his folks know that they have to fix this and fix it now. And I'll turn it over to him to let them explain what they're doing. Director?
Yeah, good morning. I'm Henry Raymond, Director of Finance. As it relates to the implementation of the ERP system for payroll at this time, I want to unequivocally state that all issues that the city is aware of that are pay related, we are aware of, have been addressed, or are in the process of being addressed. The city employees are our greatest asset. We will make all of the employees whole. The departments of human resources, information technology have been working tremendous hours. The city's Central Payroll Bureau has been working essentially around the clock to resolve all issues that have been reported or identified. As the mayor indicated, the ERP rollout is a significant accomplishment for the city to modernize the city, and we will be working through these transitional issues over the next couple of weeks. We hope to have this shaken down over the next couple of weeks with 2 payrolls under our belt, but we are doing everything to ensure that all employees receive the pay that they are due.
Can you, just a quick follow-up, speak to, was it just, fire department employees, police employees, or was this a citywide issue with a number of different departments?
I would say citywide in nature, but the issues are different. Generally speaking, issues are related to individuals properly reporting their time, leave calculations for different types of leave, whether supervisory approvals were attained. In some cases, it depended on start date of the employees. But again, all of these issues are being addressed, and we expect that all employees will be made whole.
Thank you.